What's going on with Bitcoin is Bitcoin is evolving faster than a society can digest it. And so I think you could say this is all consistent. Uh, Bitcoin was misunderstood in the year 2011. It was misunderstood by me in the year 2013. It was misunderstood again in 2015, 2017, 2019, 2021. When we first got into the space in 2020, there were people that misunderstood it, and we had a lot of massive amount of criticism when our stock was $10 a share. When our stock went to $100 a share, it was massive amount of criticism again. When it crashed to $20 a share, there was still massive criticism. When we had $2 billion of Bitcoin, people were cackling, or $1 billion, saying, oh, you lost $1 billion on this. When we made $100 billion, everybody disappeared and slunk into the shadows.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge.
Michael Saylor talks Bitcoin and crypto. We'll cover his bold ideas, strategies, and future vision. Stick around to learn more.
And then a new set of trolls, a new set of critics came out when our market cap went above 100 billion. It's a different set of cynics, a different set of critics, a different set of misconceptions. I think you're going to see the ebb and flow of that set of misconceptions and that anxiety. It'll continue when Bitcoin is 100,000. It'll continue when Bitcoin is 1 million. It'll continue when Bitcoin is 10 million. It'll continue when Bitcoin goes to 20 million. And there's always going to be a new narrative of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It'll be a different generation. You know, the people that used to laugh and say, oh, yeah, you lost $1 billion trading in Bitcoin, they're gone. They disappeared, right? There'll be a new generation of people that say, do you think it makes sense to buy Bitcoin at $1 million a coin? It's going to trade down to 500,000, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be a set of people that will say, you're buying it at 10 million a coin, it's going to trade to 6 million, you moron. You lost so much money. This is how societies deal with new ideas. If you study,
Bitcoin is once again making headlines as it chases fresh highs, climbing close to $124,000 after a powerful 14% rally in just a week. From last Friday's low of around $108,600, the cryptocurrency has surged into striking distance of price discovery territory, with the overall crypto market cap crossing an impressive $4.21 trillion. This marks a moment of strong investor confidence, with traders eyeing potential moves beyond $125,500 and even testing resistance near $130,000 in the days ahead. One of the surprising backdrops to this surge is the ongoing U.S. government shutdown. Instead of dragging markets down, uncertainty has fueled Bitcoin's momentum, with investors turning to crypto as traditional economic data stalls. On-chain analysis supports this, revealing a $1.6 billion spike in taker-buy volume, while the Coinbase premium gap hit nearly $92, showing strong U.S.-led demand. With ETF inflows steady, the Federal Reserve leaning dovish, and buyers in full force, analysts believe Bitcoin could be heading into Phase 3 price discovery, where new highs set the tone for Q4.
you know, it's a vocal community. There are a lot of opinions. People say Bitcoin is money for enemies. There's been skepticism in the Bitcoin community since before Bitcoin. Right? One could argue that Bitcoin was born out of skepticism, right? And so it's deep in the ethos and the culture, the idea to question everything, slay your heroes, uh, don't trust, verify. Right. So the whole idea of Bitcoin is, don't trust anybody, don't trust any institution. And so if you start asking the question, how do you create an economic protocol where you don't want to trust any of 8 billion people and any of 400 million companies and any government? That's an interesting question. I, I would say that skepticism has its place. It is motivational. But at some point, it can become what is the word?
Counterproductive, maybe.
Counterproductive idealism, right? And the truth of the matter is, you do need to trust the company to create the airplane you fly in. You do need to trust the company that creates the car you drive in. And you do need to trust the dentist at some point because you can't. And you do need to trust the doctor because you can't take your own appendix out, or at least it's very rare, right? And so at some point, you do have to trust something. And I would say, the more evolved way to look at Bitcoin is not that you want to embrace it and never trust anything. That, the real inspiration and the promise of Bitcoin is once you've embraced it, you have the option to extend and withdraw your trust, from time to time. And if you choose to not trust the government, you can relocate your Bitcoin to a different country. And if you choose to trust a custodian, you can locate your Bitcoin with them. And when you decide to stop trusting them, you can relocate your Bitcoin to any of 100,000 other entities. Or if you go through a period of life when you choose not to trust anyone, you can self-custody. And when you decide you don't trust yourself, you can transfer your custody to another family member, right? And change. So the real power of Bitcoin is optionality. And the reason we have the optionality is because the entire movement was born out of distrust. And so there is a yin and the yang. There is a dialectic here. And you need a healthy degree of skepticism and distrust and cynicism. But once you've created the technology, you're not going to reach your full potential unless you work with other human beings, right? And so ultimately, when you decide that you're going to work with other human beings, either as a trusted custodian or a trusted hardware device manufacturer or trusted hardware wallet, or you work with another corporation, it's a trusted team of people, whether they work on your teeth or work on your heart or manufacture the food or provide you with the aircraft travel you need. At that point, you can reach your full potential, and you do it empowered, with property rights and with economic rights. And the reason that you will be able to trust them is because you have the option to withdraw your trust.
Ether has just logged a strong 17% weekly gain, climbing above $4,500 and sparking hopes of a breakout past $5,000. The momentum has caught the attention of traders, yet sentiment remains cautious as derivatives data continues to signal skepticism. Monthly Ether futures are sitting at a 7% premium over spot, a neutral range that has not flipped bullish since February, showing that investors are hesitant to fully commit to the next leg up. One reason for this restraint is growing competition. Blockchains like Solana, BNB Chain, and Tron have been pulling users with cheaper fees and faster onboarding, while Ethereum's activity has slowed. Even though Ethereum still dominates with nearly $100 billion locked in DeFi, its transaction count dropped 10% last month, raising concerns that rivals are steadily gaining ground. Still, institutional accumulation could change everything. Spot ETFs and corporate reserves are creating conditions for a potential supply shock. If sustained, that demand could be the catalyst to finally push Ether beyond $5,000. If you have been watching so far, thank you so much for watching. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella for daily news, all for free. That's all for today's video. Until next time.